With me now is Eric Ham, CTV News U.S. political analyst. Eric, thanks as always for joining us.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
What can we expect from the White House in the coming days regarding this?
Well, the president has already lashed out at the ruling by the appeals court. And of course, we know that he will certainly appeal to the more conservative Supreme Court to actually make a final ruling in terms of whether or not these tariffs will be able to stay in place. But if, in fact, the Supreme Court does not rule in Donald Trump's favor, not only do these tariffs go away, but there is also the possibility that, and very likely, that the government will have to repay all of the money that they have actually made off of these tariffs. And in this case, we're talking about nearly $160 billion. So there is an enormous amount on the line, not just Donald Trump's signature economic policy, which he's been able to use to great effect, and also bullying countries across the world.
Have we had any indicators what the Supreme Court might do with this?
No, it's unclear at this moment what the Supreme Court will do or how they will rule. Now, what we know about the Supreme Court, however, is that they have actually stood with the president and providing him with enormous, expansive powers that many believe that the president has never held in this country. And now, of course, it remains unclear what they will do. But certainly Donald Trump has had a string of successes when going to the Supreme Court.
Now, if the Supreme Court were to uphold this ruling, what kind of an impact would it have on the Trump government?
Well, again, as we say, it would immediately place all of the tariffs that the president implemented on Liberation Day. All of those tariffs would immediately go away. Of course, the relief that American consumers would receive would be huge because, of course, even though the president does not say so, it is the American consumers that are actually paying these tariffs. So that goes away. And then, of course, it becomes the issue of how, in fact, does the U.S. government then begin the process of actually paying back the nearly $160 billion. And, of course, it also resets trade relations with all of these nations. Now, some of the 232 emergency tariffs that the president placed, particularly on steel, aluminum, and copper, those won't go away. But many of the other tariffs that the president has implemented certainly do go away.
And what do countries like Canada do with this when it comes to the negotiations?
Well, I do believe that it gives many of these nations greater leverage in their ability to negotiate with Washington on tariffs. And of course, what it also means is it takes away a lot of the sting that Donald Trump has used in moving these tariffs and also trying to get them implemented. And of course, where he goes and how he then begins to funnel this is unseen. But of course, now that he still has Congress still is controlled by his party, that does give him the ability to go through Congress to implement many of these tariffs. The question becomes, can he actually move them, particularly through a Senate where we're now seeing politically it's becoming increasingly difficult for Donald Trump to get things done.
Okay, Eric, thanks as always for your insight. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Eric Ham is our CTV News U.S. political analyst.